Not the whole thing, no.
Oh, you're like us. You need like a...
Do you know how to sing? Can you start singing?
Do you know the lyrics that we're stuck on?
Do you know the preamble?
You know who
Yes.
Daisy is?
We the people of the United States want to form more perfect union.
You know Hove?
Now, take a look at this.
You know who Hove is?
Luda.
Okay, now, look right over there. The question is, what is that cavity and what is that crossbar in there?
Oh, I love that crossbar. Yeah.
What is this cavity and what is that crossbar in there?
I can't see, man. What do you see?
The cavity and the crossbar. What are those? You see, there's a cavity. And what's that crossbar? Okay, what are they?
That's the anterior commissure?
No.
Third ventricle and mass intermediate.
Yes.
What
The
was it?
third ventricle and the massa intermedia. The crossbar is the massa intermedia, also known as the interthalamic adhesion, also known as the interthalamic adhesion.
Can you show the mass intermediate?
Yeah, you have to look in. It's a little squished, so
It's a crossbar,
I have to open up the third ventricle, but look for a crossbar right in the middle of the third ventricle.
That's the
See
massa
that?
intermediate.
Oh, we can see
Yeah,
it.
that's
It's
the
not
massa
that
intermediate.
Better than the other.
I got it before.
Thanks, Nicole.
Now,
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
this is one of the ones
Thank God the windows
in which it's possible to tell which side without seeing the other side. This is a little tricky, though. You have to think about it. Now, I'm just going to show it around first without suggesting what to emphasize,
Bet
and
he's not
to see what people will come up with. And then if no one gets it, I will direct your attention to a particular area.
Give us a clue.
Now, look very carefully
Where?
for something that will...
Wait, what are we looking for? Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for something which will tell you which surface of the slice this is, anterior or posterior. So take a look. Look for something that
Slow, please.
shows which side this is.
This is for anterior? Exterior? There's only two options.
Anterior, posterior.
Thanks,
It's because of that.
Is it posterior? It's because of the thalamus?
No.
Okay, so now many people have it. What is it?
Inferior horns of the lateral.
That's right.
This is posterior.
Right, this is the posterior side. You can see the poles of the inferior horns of the lateral ventricle, which are the inferior poles of the whole ventricle. And the same sort of reasoning applies. If you can see the pole of a horn, you can only see the pole of a horn when looking from posterior to anterior. If you see the inferior horn when looking from anterior to posterior, you see it sliced open behind the pole.
You're wrong then, too, right?
What? Well,
Like, you normally see the pole when it's posterior to anterior.
you can only see the pole of the inferior horn or any horn, of the inferior horn or the anterior horn when looking from posterior to anterior. But if you're looking, yeah, because if you are looking from the front, you will either see the interior of the horn or you'll see just the valley. Okay. Just as when we did Bio 9, we talked about the carina, in the respiratory tree, where the primary bronchi meet. You can pay attention, please. This is analogous to that situation that we did in Bio 9 when we saw the carina.
Okay.
But pay attention, which is the carina is something that you can only see when, which is that upward crest that you see where the primary bronchi meet the trachea, right there. That can only be seen when looking from superior to inferior, because when looking from inferior towards superior, you'll only see the sections of the primary bronchi. There's no way to see the carina when looking from below upward. You have to be looking from above downward. So similarly here, you can only see the poles of the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle when looking from posterior to anterior, because in front of this, there has to be just centrum semiovale in the horn. So if you see the inferior horn from looking from A to P, it'll be because you're posterior enough to see the horn sliced open. Looking this way, you'll only see either centrum semiovale or the interior of the horn. You have to be looking from posterior toward anterior to see the pole.
But I'm confused. This when we saw the pole of the anterior horn,
Right,
we were more
posterior.
okay.
Okay, so now if you see the pole of the posterior horn, Then you have to be looking from anterior toward posterior to see that pole. But for the inferior horn and the anterior horn, you have to be looking from posterior to anterior.
Okay.
Okay? So then also, note the following here. There's gray matter in the medial wall of the inferior horn right near the pole. That gray matter located right here is the amygdala.
Oh, amygdala.
Yeah, so the gray matter found right here, it's that gray located in the medial wall of the inferior horn, near the pole. That's the amygdala. And since the amygdala is not very big, there are very few sections in which you can see it. So once you get back just a little bit, it's gone. It's the gray matter in the medial wall of the inferior horn near the pole. And since it's small, you're only going to see it in a slice like this and just a little further back, and that's it.
Wait, gray matter.
In the medial wall of the inferior horn near the pole of the inferior horn. And then medial to that, you see this bulge over here?
Yeah.
That is the uncus.
Can you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah, the bulge on, this is a piece of topographic anatomy. The surface cortex that makes this bulge, in other words, medial to the amygdala, is the uncus, right over here.
You can't see that on a lot of slices either, right?
Say again?
The uncus is not seen on a lot of slices,
Right,
because the book has it only on one slice.
that's right, the uncus is also very small.
That's medial to the amygdala.
Yeah, the uncus is some surface cortex medial to the amygdala. So the amygdala is the interior gray matter over here, and the uncus is this cortical gray matter right over there. It's this neocortical gray, actually paleocortical gray matter, on the surface of the medial side of the temporal lobe, just medial to the amygdala. And they relate because they cross-connect. The cross-connections in part have to do with olfactory and in part with the limbic system,
Okay.
okay?
Is that the last slice?
What time is it over here?
It's 8:05 or
Oh, yes, it's still.